Hello, my name is Joy and welcome to my channel, A Joyful Life. Today I'm getting ready to go to Japan for 2.5 weeks and I'm flying out tomorrow and I'm beyond excited. This will be my third time going there and it'll be during the cherry blossom season. So I need to get ready to embrace the crowds, but luckily I've already been to the more touristy spots like Fushimi Inari, Meiji Jingu Shrine, Nara Park, the Bamboo Forest, Tokyo Tower, Tokyo Skytree. So I shouldn't have to fight the crowds during those bigger touristy spots. But yeah, hopefully this time around I can explore the lesser known suburbs. So I thought I'd take you along the packing / getting ready process for this holiday. So a couple of days ago, I got my nails done, which is a very rare occurrence for me. I don't really get my nails done on a regular basis. It's more like special occasions or if I go on holiday. In fact, I think the last time I got them done was when I went to Japan last time, which is about 18 months ago. These are my inspiration picks and I think they turned out so cute. I wanted to try out the cat eye / magnet nails trend, which I didn't know was a thing until I was looking on Pinterest for inspiration. Initially, I did want to get them done at a foreigner-friendly place in Harajuku, and when I was messaging them to book the appointment, I got quoted 22,000 yen, which is around about 220, 230 Australian dollars, and no doubt that their work is immaculate, but I just couldn't really justify spending more than $200 on my nails. So I ended up just going to a place near my area and this is how they turned out. The actual cat eye aspect of it is pretty subtle as well, but that's kind of how I wanted them to look like. My library books are going to be due while I was away, so I made a quick trip to go and return them, and I also gave a little bit of a review as well on the books that I read over the last several weeks. Hi, I thought I would share the last couple of books that I've read. All in all, I read 4 graphic novels and just 1 small novella. So let's start with the novella. It's called The Scribbling Man by Terry Goodkind. I think it's from a series called Children of Dihara. On the back it just says, "We have all caught fleeting glimpses of them, the monster under the bed, the dark shadow just out of sight, the knot of unexpected terror in the pit of your stomach." Yeah, I'd probably give this one a 3 out of 5. Alright, so the next one is a graphic novel by Atsushi Okubo, and it's called Soul Eater, N-O-T, exclamation mark. I had really high hopes for this book, but it gave me the ick. 0.5 stars out of 5. The premise of the story is this 14-year-old girl. She is about to go to this new magical college where you can either be a weapon or a wielder of the weapon. If you are a weapon, basically you're able to transform into a weapon, and if you're a wielder, then you form a partnership with a weapon so that you can basically become soldiers for the country. So I thought it would be about that, female friendships and finding strength through training and being a warrior and whatnot, but it just really fell short of that. Yeah, the main character is very insecure about herself, isn't quite sure, if she's able to transform into a weapon and be good enough. And I get that, that's okay, I understand that, but there was just no character growth for this person, this main character. But why it gave me the ick is the sexualization of it. These are 14-year-old girls, and I don't care how good the story is, that is never okay to sexualize 14-year-old girls. So safe to say I'm not gonna continue reading this. Alright, the next 3 graphic novels are in a They're in the same series. It's a series called Mao, M-A-O. Story and art is by Rumiko Takahashi. Yeah, but I really enjoyed this one. Basically, it's about a young girl in high school. She kind of has a bit of a traumatic past. Her and her parents were involved in a car accident when she was younger, I think about 8 years old. And unfortunately, her parents passed away during the car accident. She usually avoids this area, obviously because of, what happened there. But, one day she comes across the area and she goes through the Tory gates through the market street, and she finds herself in another place and another time. So a few hundred years before her actual time. There's a bit of a mystery around the parents passing away during the car accident. As the 2 volumes come along, you kind of have more and more questions about, was it actually a car accident, or was it a supernatural event that her grandparents are trying to hide from her? So yeah, I really enjoyed the series. I would probably give this series maybe a 3 out of 5 as well. Hopefully next month I can pick up the pace a little bit with my reading. But yeah, I think that's everything. So with packing, I always have a list of what I need to take, because I'm very prone to forgetting things. I'm not going to pack too much this time around, just because I do plan to do a bit of shopping while I'm there, especially for like basics and heat tech at Uniqlo. I love the quality of the clothing, and I've had some pieces there, like just basic stuff that have lasted me like over the last 2 years, and I find that it's a little bit cheaper over there as well, so I plan to pick up a few things. When you're going to Japan, you're gonna want that extra luggage, trust me. Once you get over there, everything is so cute, really good quality and very reasonable prices as well. I'm sure you're probably gonna have like friends and family that are gonna want things, souvenirs and whatnot. So yeah, get that extra luggage if you can. And if you have a smaller suitcase, like me, I'm gonna take a suitcase within a suitcase, or you can just buy one when you get there. That's what I did last time. So the other thing I like to do is just like create another list of things that I need to do kind of like closer to the travel date. So for example, like you want that travel insurance for peace of mind, especially if you're doing like adventurous activities like skiing, things like that. Setting up your eSIM, don't forget to do that while you're in the country. In the previous trips, I've used the pocket Wi-Fi. That's an option if you don't have like the unlocked SIM card on your phone, but I did find that it was like an extra thing to carry and an extra thing to charge. So if you do have eSIM capabilities on your phone, I would definitely get that. The other thing is setting up the QR code from the Visit Japan website. Now this makes it easier for you to get through customs. You can just have like a QR code that you can scan. It probably saves you a lot of time with like, the arrival process and everything. So if you come from one of the qualifying countries, I would definitely do that before you leave. The next thing is adding the Travel Suica card app and linking it with my wallet. This is my first time using this one. The last couple of times we were able to get the physical cards, but I think there's like a card shortage at the moment. And I think what I'm going to do this time is, because it links to a card, I don't want to pay any international fees on my bank, which is associated with that account. So I actually have a international bank card which doesn't have any fees each time you take money out. So I think I'm going to link my Suica card to that, so I can just like top it up without feeling like I have to pay $1 every time I have a different transaction. The other apps I like to have downloaded is obviously Google Maps, and that's been absolutely key for getting around, especially if like you're the designated navigator of the trip like me. I really like Google Apps just because, if you're using public transport, it literally has everything on there. It's got the different exits that you have to take. It's got obviously like the times when the train is going to come, and if you miss that train, like it's showing you like which upcoming train is next as well. The really important thing for Google Maps for me is knowing which exit to go to. And if you've been to Japan before, you know that like the bigger train stations, it's almost like a little mini suburb underneath the ground themselves. So, you know, if you're the designated navigator, at least you can just like zero in on following the signs to get to the exit that you need to, and it can really help save you a lot of like anxiety and stress, especially if you speak like 5 Japanese words like me. So yeah, get Google Maps, Google Translate, of course. I've used that mostly for like reading menus, or if I'm at a convenience store or grocery store or something, just reading the labels of things. And I would say if you have the phone space for it, you can download the language offline as well. And the last app is the Taxi Go app. So this is my first time using this. Last time I did try to download it, but it sends you like a verification code as a text message. And, you know, obviously I didn't have the roaming capability, so I wasn't really able to use it. So this will be my first time using the app, and I think it's the most common app to use for taxis and ride services. And the last thing is you want to advise your bank that you're going overseas to travel, because there's nothing worse than getting to the airport, going to an ATM, and then having your transaction blocked. The last thing, which is, this is not really necessary, but for me, I'm more of like a just in case kind of person. So I like to print out any hotel reservations or any like train tickets or experience tickets. I like to just have them with me on paper, and also copies of like any important documents or passports. So things like the QR code for the Visit Japan visa, passports. Then at least like it just gives me a peace of mind that if everything goes down south, if my phone is somehow dead, then at least I have like the physical copies of the more important documents. And I think that's everything for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and you can have some tips to take away if you're heading to Japan soon. So I will be vlogging all of my Japan trip. I'll be heading to Tokyo, Kyoto, and making some day trips to Uji and Kobe. So please stay tuned for that. Click subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you so much for watching.